Starbase, Texas, where SpaceX's steel monstrosity Starship looms like an overambitious middle school science project, except this one's 400 feet tall and costs billions. On November 19th, Flight 6 wasn't just a test, it was an audacious attempt to defy gravity, physics, and probably common sense. The Super Heavy booster, essentially a rocket powered by 33 Raptor engines determined to make its mark. This wasn't your regular rocket launch, it was the drama of trying to perfect a reusable space system. The Super Heavy booster, which was designed for the first stage, splashed down safely in the Gulf of Mexico. But instead of landing on boring old ground, it was supposed to be caught mid-air by Mechazilla, SpaceX's skyscraper-sized robot arm. Meanwhile, the Starship upper stage, nicknamed Ship, because Elon loves keeping things complicated, pulled off a Raptor engine relight in space. It cruised gracefully across the sky, before pulling a precision splashdown in the Indian Ocean like an Olympic diver showing off. And because SpaceX doesn't do anything the normal way, the payload for this flight wasn't satellites or fancy experiments. Nope, it was a stuffed banana. That's right, a plush fruit, acting as a zero-gravity indicator. Because when you're redefining space travel, why not toss in some Minions-level humor? But now all eyes are on the Flight Test 7. The next Starship flight promises even more drama, with NASA tagging along like the nosy neighbor who finally got an invite to the backyard BBQ. They will use Gulfstream V, a sleek, sophisticated jet that NASA has parked in Perth, Australia. It's basically the Ferrari of the skies, except its mission isn't joyriding, it's spying on Starship as it plummets back to Earth over the Indian Ocean. Why? Because re-entry is where things get hot. This mission will provide critical insights into the peak heating conditions during re-entry and the overall performance of Starship's thermal protection systems, and NASA wants a front-row seat to study it. Their Gulfstream V will capture imagery of the upper stage during the hottest moments, feeding data back to engineers who are obsessively fine-tuning those heat shields. Think of it as the ultimate stress test, like baking cookies, but the oven is 3,000 degrees and the cookies are your billion-dollar spacecraft. But there's more at stake than just pretty pictures. These observations will help calibrate Starship's onboard sensors, ensuring future missions like landing humans on Mars don't end with crispy astronauts. The upgrades for this flight include a larger propellant capacity, increasing from 1,200 to 1,500 tons, made possible by stretching the vehicle to accommodate larger tanks to make it carry more fuel enough to keep it roaring longer. The forward flaps have been redesigned to be smaller and relocated to improve heat protection and maintain control during re-entry. These changes, along with additional redundancies and reliability enhancements, aim to extend Starship's operational capabilities for longer missions. Before the fireworks of Starship Flight 7 light up the skies, there's one crucial hurdle, which is bureaucracy. NASA has nudged the FAA with a polite but urgent speeding up to secure licensing for a string of Starship launches. If successful, Flight 7 will set the stage for more frequent launches and test SpaceX's ability to scale operations to meet ambitious targets, such as 25 launches per year. They've made it clear the data collected during these tests is pure gold, because every detail, from how Starship's tiles hold up to how gracefully it belly flops into the ocean, feeds directly into improving vehicle design. Once Flight 7 wraps up, SpaceX has one more upper stage splashdown to validate the system further before attempting a precision tower catch in subsequent flights. But because SpaceX doesn't do anything halfway, in 2025, SpaceX will attempt 25 launches, ramping up to an eye-popping 100 launches a year shortly after. This state-of-the-art manufacturing hub will churn out Starships like it's running the galaxy's busiest factory, producing one vehicle every 8 hours. That's right, your next Starship might be fresher than the loaf of bread you bought this morning. As the human landing system for the Artemis program, Starship will play the greater role in Artemis III, scheduled for late 2026. Though the HLS version skips the heat shield entirely because it's not coming back to Earth, its job is to act as a lunar shuttle, dropping astronauts off and hanging out on the moon like the ultimate long-haul Uber. Meanwhile, Elon Musk, the optimist, has claimed that uncrewed Starships could touch Martian soil within 2 years. Timing is everything when it comes to Mars, thanks to the Earth-Mars alignment window. Every 26 months, the planets are close enough to make interplanetary road trips somewhat feasible. SpaceX plans to capitalize on these sweet spots, turning Mars missions into a regular cosmic commute. At the heart of SpaceX's Starship program lies a simple idea: reusability changes everything. Why toss out your rocket after one use when you can catch it mid-air, dust it off, and send it back up again? Future iterations of Starship will push boundaries even further, cranking up the thrust to an absurd 10,000 metric tons, enough to lift payloads that would make the mighty Saturn V blush. From partnerships with NASA for lunar exploration to audacious plans for Martian cities, Starship is positioned to be the vehicle that changes the narrative of our species. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.